which are the same kinds of things you've been hearing about your whole life. This is what it means to be successful, is to have these qualities. But what we tried to do was frame it to focus on this whole remote learning crazy situation we're in. So we geared everything toward that. Now integrity is just integrity. Like, nobody wants to deal with people who don't have integrity, because when you have integrity, it means that you're sincere and you're honest and you can be trusted. And let's face it, those are some pretty basic, awesome human qualities that we all, would like to enjoy in other people. But ownership, I think, is the first one that really can be tweaked to focus on what's going on in the world right now with you and your schooling. There is no time in your educational history that ownership is going to be a bigger deal than it is this school year, 2020 to 2021, because you've never had so much independent time as a learner. You've elected to come to school 2 days a week, and hopefully we can stick with that plan, right? But even if we do, even if everything goes great, and we are sticking with that, then that means you're still at home 3 days a week. That means that there's no bell telling you it's time to start focusing on another class. There's no teacher standing next to you telling you to put your phone away. You have to have the ownership over your learning and the self-discipline to do that yourself. And the degree to which you take ownership over your education is going to impact the results that you get from it.
You also see up there that it says to speak with good purpose and think before you speak. And we hear this, I don't know why I'm having like a Disney Bambi reference right now. Like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay, we hear these things. But in the enhanced remote world, some of the way that you are speaking may not be face-to-face, virtual. It's going, or in person, it's going to be virtual. You'll be communicating with your teachers and your classmates via email, online discussion boards. So it really is important to think before you speak, because we've all done it, right? When you are typing something, whether it's a text, it's an email, it's easy to type and hit send, and then it's out there. And then you're like, oh, wait, there was a typo, and that was a different word, and that's not what I meant, and it's not really what I wanted to say. And you want to recall that message, but it's already out there. Okay? What we are encouraging you to do is slow that process down. Okay? Have that moment where you are thinking about, what do you truly want to ask? What do you truly want to say? Proofread whatever it is that you write, you're communicating, so you're speaking in a digital world. But take the time to think before you speak to make sure that you are communicating clearly for yourself.
Another key to success is to be flexible. Always, that's a great idea, but you've known since March 13th that you can't totally expect what's going to come next, right? And that you have to be flexible in order to maximize your success. These are really unique times. We believe that you are doing your best. I know your teachers are doing their best, because I've been working with them as they're planning for you, and they're trying to wrap their heads around how to maximize your education in this enhanced remote environment. So we feel great about our plan, we really do, but we know that things can change and it won't always be up to us, right? We don't have control over some of these changes. So that means we have a plan B, and we have a plan C, and believe it or not, we actually have a plan D. And we wait constantly from guidance from the state, and to see how things are going here in Burbank, in the Stickney community. And we have to be flexible with that. And we need you to do that as well. So when things change, you can't just go rogue. You have to stay informed, stay engaged, and move with the changes, and be there, and take that ownership over your education.
All right, raise your hand if you watched The Last Dance. The documentary of the Chicago Bulls. Okay, if you haven't, admittedly I haven't watched the whole thing, so it's homework that I'm assigning myself as well, I guess. But it's good that you guys watched it, and most of the world did. We really encourage you to. And the reason that we are bringing it up and tying it in is because this quote we have up here is from Michael Jordan, who was obviously featured in the documentary. This quote you probably heard. Okay, I have failed over and over and over again in my life. and that is why I succeed. And this slide, this key to academic success, is about failure. And failure leads to success. Okay, we're human. We often don't get things right the first time. Okay? We learn from our mistakes, our trial and error. But accepting those failures and allowing ourselves to learn and grow, figure out the areas that we need to work harder in, the areas that we need to ask for help in, okay, that is what is going to help you succeed academically.
And all that's going to take some commitment from you, right? You need commitment to be successful in just about anything. Any personal relationship you're ever going to have, if you want it to be strong, has to have a level of commitment. You'll have to be committed to your job when you eventually get one, if you don't have one already. And you have to commit to school as well. Now again, let's focus this on the here and now of this whole COVID and your education business. I want you to think back to last spring. By the time the school year ended in May, we had been told by the governor and the Illinois State Board of Education that whatever grade you had on March 13th was going to stand, that your grade could not be lower than that. It could go up if you had done, better work or more work, but it couldn't go down. So even if you checked out in the months of April and May, if you had an 84% in your class, no one heard from you, you didn't turn in one iota of work, you still had an 84%. That's not going to be the case. Okay, it'll be just like normal, quote unquote normal. Your grades will count. So your grades will count towards your GPA, but more importantly, passing your classes, right? That's all part of your graduation progress, and we do not want you to fall behind. So that means that everything that you're doing online and in class is counting. Mrs. Yosta has an exciting announcement for you in case you haven't heard. There are no final exams this year. Okay, so let's have some applause. Okay, so however you're feeling, you took final exams last fall. Okay, then they were canceled in the spring when we went to remote learning. We have made the decision on the front end, okay, again, as part of our plan, that we are not doing final exams. So that's wonderful in so many ways. The reason we are bringing it up, and with this commitment slide and road to graduation, is because it maybe more than ever means that everything you do throughout the semester is so important in making sure that you get the grade you want in the course and receive credit for the course. We're very aware, maybe even after one semester as freshmen, we know that students figure out how to work things out, and at Revis our final exam policy is that it's 20% of your final grade. So you can look at that and say, hey, if I just don't do this homework assignment, or if I don't do my best on this test, I'll cram for the exam and I'll get that 20%, I'll boost my grade. Well, that's not going to happen this year. Okay? Every single assignment, every single opportunity, you are given to learn and show evidence of that learning throughout the whole semester is what is going to ultimately determine your final grade in the course. So you need that commitment to do the work and do your best. Because the time is now. You have started your sophomore year today. Okay, congratulations. Okay, that's really exciting. You have received a lot of information. You'll continue to receive a lot of information. What you do with all of this, okay, that's up to you. This is your time. Make the most of it. We are here to help you in any way that we can, but ultimately how flexible you allow yourself to be. How well you take care of yourself and do follow these keys to success. You are writing your story. Okay? It might look a little different. There might be some revisions as far as how you got your sophomore year would start or how it will go. But you are in control. Okay? You have the ownership. Make the most of every moment. I'd like you to take a second right now and just focus. And if you had to measure the degree to which you feel in balance, like mentally, what would you say? Of course, I'm not going to make you say it out loud, but how balanced do you kind of feel about this whole coming back to school thing? Because when we're balanced, we have a sense of equilibrium, right? But it's so easy for things to get us out of balance. We get pulled in one direction by drama, or anxiety, our worries, our fears. And sometimes it's the people inside our own homes, right, that are doing that. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's fun stuff that's like putting us like out of balance. But the fact is that it's difficult to be successful if you're feeling weighed down by something, or something's making you off kilter and pulling your focus. So we want you to really take time throughout these really unique times to be mindful of how you feel. That's another thing that's hard. You got all this stuff going on in your lives, all these people, okay, all this stuff, all these demands, and then you have your cell phone, which is one of the most demanding things in your life. Think about how dependent you are on it, all the messages that come through to you from it. It takes a lot of time and energy. That's fine. But it also means that you're less likely to just stop and take a minute and really take stock of how you feel. If you find that you're feeling weighed down, that you're feeling unbalanced, reach out. If you don't feel like you have friends or family to reach out to, there are people around us that you can reach out to. Okay, and we want you to do that.
And we want you to do that through communication. Okay, we said, think before you speak, but we want you speaking. We want you letting us know, what's going on. We also want to make sure that you are participating in your classes, because we know that that's wide open, right? So whatever format that happens in, if you're in class, you're raising your hand, you're participating in discussions. If it's virtual, you're doing the same. It would be a Google meeting, Zoom, email, okay? Email your teacher, let them know, if you have questions or concerns. Ms. Bannock said to, take count of how you are feeling, because only you know that. Only if you communicate that out can we, help you, whether that's academically, it's personally, in any way. So please, please do that. Take the opportunity to reach out, because we have people here to answer questions and help you meet your needs as long as you communicate.
Right, so that most likely starts with your teachers, especially if it's academic, but even if it's not. And then, of course, your deans, counselors, social workers, and anyone in the administration. Now, you heard from the behavioral health team, which included guidance, and maybe some of you never met your dean. Maybe some of you have never, you're not even sure who the social workers are in the school, but they all are connected to an alpha slice. Just like your counselor is assigned to you by your last name, everyone has a social worker that they can reach out to as well. So I'm sure they went over that, but just remember, don't be afraid. We call this the Revis family, the faculty and staff here. Since I was hired here 22 years ago, the principal said to me, "Welcome to the Revis family," when I got hired, which is unusual. I'm going to a place of employment to hear that. But the term still sticks with all of us here today. And you're a part of that family, of course. In fact, you're the whole reason that we're even here. So you're part of that, and that means that we look out for each other in any way that we can.
So as you're communicating, if you need to communicate out specific issues, so troubleshooting, you can take a picture of this slide, this presentation, as well as all the others will be posted on the website. If you have a technology question, okay, if you are in the building, you can go over to the Chrome Depot, which is in the multi-purpose room. But if you are at home and you're struggling with something, your Chromebook won't turn on, it's not charging, you're having internet issues, technology-related questions should go directly to sos@d220.org. Okay? That will be the way that you can get the quickest response to your technology questions. Daily, when you are remote, you will be logging in to take attendance. Okay, so that's similar to the spring. You will fill out the form. If there's any questions with that, if you filled out the form but then you look at PowerSchool and it's still showing that you're absent for some reason, or you have any questions, the email address that you'll reach out to is elearning@d220.org. Okay, so for those specific areas, these are the specific groups that you will contact. You can reach out to anybody. You can ask your teacher, you can email me and say, "Hey, my Chromebook's not charging." What I will do with that information, because I'm not the best person to help with that, I'm going to forward it to SOS. Right? So we encourage you to go directly to the source to get the information you need as quickly as possible.
And these are two more slides. These next two slides you might want to snap a photo of. This is, first of all, the current bell schedule as we have it organized now. You already know that as the blue team, you're coming in on Mondays and Thursdays. So that means you're taking that ownership, doing that independent learning on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But what we really wanted to point out to you is something you might not have realized, and that's the parts in yellow. Those are your virtual online sessions. So Mrs. West is gonna advance the slide, and there's a close-up of those. Guys, these are the times that you have mandatory online class. So you're not in the building, but you're logging in order to have these class sessions. So remember, Revis right now is divided into 3 groups of students. The blue team, that's you, the gray team, and then about 28% of our students opted to go remote, fully remote, so they aren't ever gonna come into the building. So that means that these virtual sessions are the only time to have what's called synchronous learning, meaning it's synced up, it's all happening at the same time for everyone. So all 30 kids in the class, you're never gonna be together in real life, but you will be together online in these yellow spots. So just notice then, that means you're gonna wanna set an alarm on your phone on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because you don't have to actually report anywhere in the building, although don't forget, you woke up and you took your e-attendance, right? You filled out the Google form for attendance in the morning. But at 1:15 on Tuesdays, you have to log in and see your first hour teacher. And then your second hour teacher after that. Wednesdays, you see your class, your whole class, right? In third and either fourth or fifth hour. And then on Thursdays, that's your long day for you, this team. On Thursdays, you go to school. And then you get out at 12:25 and you go home, you like take a rest, you have lunch, snack, whatever. But then at 1:15, guys, you've been home like not even an hour. You have to log back in and go to 6 hours from home. Okay, so that's the time everyone can be together. So it's finally a chance for your teacher, who's been talking to all of you in some form or another all week. That's the chance that your teacher has to have maybe a whole group discussion. Or using Zoom, they can put you in breakout sessions, because they can do that now with Zoom. They've developed that technology since the spring, so they can put you in small groups and then bring everyone back together, so all the squares are back together. That's the only shot they have at it, so those are mandatory online sessions, okay? Okay, a few other helpful tips. The first one is try not to worry, okay? That's super helpful, right? But no, truly, be flexible. We're all in this together. We're here for you, so try not to stress. Communicate out with your questions. We truly are all in the same boat. So, if you were coming in as a sophomore, excited to not be a freshman anymore, now you know the lay of the land at Revis. But now you're like, oh, but now it's this enhanced remote learning, and I'm not sure I'm as confident with what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, it's new for the juniors and seniors too. Okay, and we're all in this together. So try not to worry. We are here for you. We will get through this. One thing that you can do to eliminate some of the worries or the stress is keep yourself organized. Okay, it is a new schedule. There are different requirements, different meeting times than the traditional school year, so keep a calendar. If you are a paper and pencil person, then get yourself a planner, post-it notes, whatever works for you. If you are more digital, then set alarms in your phone, set reminders, so that Tuesday at 1:15, that alarm goes off reminding you that it's your time for your virtual meeting with your first hour class. Okay? We also encourage you to make your schedule your lock screen on your phone. Okay? If it's at your lock screen, then take a picture of it. Same thought, that you just have easy access to it. That you don't need to that you don't need to log into your email, that you don't need to go to the website, that you just easily can find out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing at the times that you need to be doing them. That's also a way to eliminate some stress and therefore help you worry less. Physical education this year. Okay, this is our last slide, and we would love to answer any questions you have. As freshmen, you had physical education for 1 semester. If you had help in the fall, you had physical education in the spring, so did not even have in-person physical education for an entire semester. All the same, this year, it looks different. Okay, you have physical education every day, all year, unless you care to drive a ride, okay? You will now be changing into your PE uniform. Okay, just like you are not using the hallway lockers, we are not using the locker rooms. So you will not be changing for PE. When
when you come to school on Mondays and Thursdays, you need to be, you need to be wearing clothes that you can participate in physical activity in. So athletic bottoms and gym shoes. Okay, they are a requirement. It's how it's going to help you be successful, not only in the course, okay, but it is proven that physical activity enhances your intellectual, mental, and social and emotional well-being. Okay, so super important that you are prepared every day, as with all of your classes, of course. Okay, this one is what you wear to school every day matters. I know that some of your teachers today might have been starting to give you supplies already. That might be new this year. Okay, things that you might have had just in the classroom and you would not necessarily have taken home. Remember, you have 3 days that you're going to be continuing your instruction at home. So you might have different materials that you're expected to bring back and forth, and making sure that you do that. That's another key to your academic success.
All right, sophomores, what questions can we answer for you about anything? All right, well, you made it through orientation, and we're going to dismiss you, we're going to dismiss you to help us social distance